but he was a good father to the family during the 18 years of marriage until Magdalen's death in 1627. George Herbert kept in touch with his stepfather and eventually made him the executor of his will. Herbert never knew him as a father in the home because the year John and Magdalen married was the year Herbert began his studies at Trinity College, Cambridge. Herbert had been an outstanding student at a Westminster preparatory school, writing Latin essays when he was 11 years old that would later be published, and now at Cambridge he distinguished himself in the study of classics. He graduated second in a class of 193 in 1612 with a Bachelor of Arts, and then in 1616 he took his Master of Arts and became a Major Fellow of the university. In 1619 he was elected Public Orator of Cambridge University. This was a prestigious post with huge public responsibility. Herbert wrote to his stepfather what it meant to be elected the orator. "The finest place in the university, though not the gainfullest, for the orator writes all the university letters, makes all the orations, be it to king, prince, or whatever comes to the university. To requite these pains he takes place next to the doctors, is at all their assemblies and meetings, and sits above the proctors, and such like gaynesses, which will please a young man well." This is going to be one of the most important insights into his life because the academic stimulation, the prominence even in the King's Court, and the pleasures of it all would prove the great battleground over his call to the pastoral ministry. 11 years after his election to the oratorship, on the day of his induction to the parish ministry at Bremerton, he would say, "I can now behold the court with an impartial eye and see plainly that it is made up of fraud, titles, and flattery, and many other such empty, imaginary, and painted pleasures, pleasures that are so empty as not to satisfy when they are enjoyed." But for now there seemed good reasons to give himself to public service for the sake of the university and its relation to the wider civic life of the country. On top of the oratorship, he added a 1-year term in Parliament in 1623 and 1624. But the conflict of his soul over a call to the pastoral ministry intensified that year, and a vow he had made to his mother during his first year at Cambridge took hold in his heart. He submitted himself totally to God and to the ministry of a parish priest. He was ordained as a deacon in the Church of England in 1626, and then became the ordained priest of the little country church at Bremerton in 1630. There were never more than 100 people in his church. The last 3 years of his life he was a parson to a remote country parish. At the age of 36 and in failing health, Herbert married Jane.